Chuck's got the questions, digging so sharp, peeling back layers, hitting the heart. Chuck Shoot Podcast, blowing your mind. Every topic, one of a kind.
Well, you've got the TV producer, casting director stuff already down, huh?
I do. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So,
That's
but
exciting because that's your side. Or I mean, I guess that's kind of your main gig, right? Your Monday through Friday job is the casting producer, right?
yes, actually, I'm starting a brand new show tomorrow for Netflix, a dating show. So I'm really excited about that. There's a lot going on. There's so much to talk about, Chuck. So I'm excited to be here today.
Okay. Well, yeah. Do you want to tell me about the Netflix show? I'm excited to hear about that.
Well, the only thing I can really say about it is that it's a dating show. And so we're going to be I'll be looking for really big, loud characters, divorced characters, people that have been through a relationship already. And we're going to be making some matches. But that's really all I can say about it. It's a really big deal for Netflix, and I'm really excited. I'm with Peter Higgins Casting. I've worked with Peter for the last 10 years at Renegade 83, and he just launched his own casting company, and I'm a part of the team because my I don't know if you know my nickname in casting, but I'm known as the closer. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah, it's great. It's great. So I'm really excited that Peter started his own company, and to be on board with him, it's great. He's totally family. So I'm excited.
Do people ever get mad at you if you don't cast them? Like, how dare you didn't put me on that show, you bitch? Like, does that ever happen?
It can be really interesting. I mean, people do play it pretty safe with me, and they don't want to offend me, but and sometimes I feel really bad because some people are really great, but they just don't have that extra little something that the network is looking for. And it really comes down to whatever the network wants is what the network gets. This is their show. It's not my show.
Right.
If it was my show, like Ex-Wives of Rock, then I would see the talent and make the decisions. But the network is always the decision maker. We just deliver, package, and then they make the decision. But I have had some people, say things like, "Oh, I took off work for this," because we always give them the shooting dates to see if they're available, and that can be really tricky. But at the same time, if I've interviewed you for a show, keep in mind that you're always on my radar. Like, I use my own personal cell phone. I have your number. I make little notes in it. I know who you are. And if the stars line up and there's something that I think you are great for, I'll reach out to you. I've done that many, many times. So don't get pissed off at the casting producer.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming you seem like I've listened to interviews. You seem like a pretty kind person. I wouldn't think that you would be ruthless. Like, some casting directors might be like, say mean things, right? Like, you don't have the looks, like you got to lose weight or something. They could say really mean things, right?
Well, there's really no reason to go there. And also when you're casting a show, you want differences. You want, especially even with a dating show, like, it's really awesome if some hot, big boobed girl is really attracted to a guy that's, 25
Like
pounds overweight.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That would be fun. Yeah.
But, it's really fun to put people together that they have chemistry,
Yeah.
and as a matter of fact, I'm going to say this about Jelly Roll, who is just taken over the world. Okay.
Yeah. Didn't you kind of discover him before you saw him before he was big?
I did. I saw him. I mean, he's always had his following, but I was actually working on a show with his wife, a development idea that we were going to call it not ex-wives. We were going to call it Outlaw Wives. And Bobby Collin, who is a manager, he used to manage Lita Ford. I'm really good friends with him. And he approached me. He said, "Look, I'm managing this guy, Jelly Roll, and his wife. They're great characters." And so I started digging into it. So I was talking to Bunny, gosh, this is like 9 years ago even. And we were developing something. It was with Fifi Dobson, who is married to Yellow Wolf, and they all live in the Nashville area. So we were starting to work on that idea. And then I went to a show of Jelly Rolls downtown LA. There were probably 150 people there, maybe. I thought he was great, for sure. I thought Yellow Wolf was great. He travels with this whole entourage of amazing musicians. I thought he was great. We went to a bar before he went on stage that was across the street, me and him and Bunny. And we just started chatting about all sorts of stuff. And I got to tell you, back then he weighed close to 500 pounds. I thought he was the sexiest mofo ever. He he was
Wow.
so sexy. He was so like he just has that thing. He just has that thing. And Bunny was there and we were all just hanging out and having drinks. And I realized then and there, honest to God, I was like, they don't need me at all. Like they just don't need me. I have, sure, we can do a show with Bunny and all of that, but I knew in my gut, I was like, they don't need anything to do with me. They're on their own path. I know that they're going to be hugely famous.
Hmm.
And here we are many, many years later, and they are, and they're killing it just everywhere. I mean, so it's just amazing to think that. And actually, Bunny and I, we don't talk regularly anymore, but I will say when I was contemplating getting divorced, which I've been married several times, I'm an open book about it. Marriage is not for me. But when I was thinking about leaving my husband, she's who I reached out to. I texted her and told her what was going on because I knew that, and it gets me kind of emotional because she's the real deal. She's like a real friend, a real person, a real woman that has lived a lot of life. And I knew that she wouldn't judge me. And I remember it was 4th of July and she was at, baby girl, I'm at a 4th of July party. She said, I can't get on the phone, but I can at least text you. And we texted, back and forth. And she was really helpful.
Hmm.
And she said, leave that mofo. No. She didn't say that, but she just gave really good advice. And so that's my
What
favorite.
is that advice? Can you share that? Like just in general, without being too specific?
Well, she wanted to know because quite honestly, my recent ex was not into me being in a band. He didn't.
Hmm.
And so that was a
But
real
that's who you are. That's like your identity.
hello.
Yeah.
And he knew, I mean,
Right.
so yeah, so she was like, why is he doing that? What are his concerns? And so she asked a lot about that. And I said, he doesn't like me being gone, and I understand that, but it's like my passion. It's what I do. And interestingly enough, my mother, a few years later, was on her last days and I was really trying to figure out what I was going to do. Like I'm on tour, 35, 40 dates a year. And how do I make this all work? Because I really didn't want to have another divorce on my belt to be like, I'm old school and I just didn't really want to have that another divorce. And then I was trying to figure out how to make it all work. And then my mother, I was there with her in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's where I'm originally from. And I was kind of just petting her hand one day. She hadn't talked for days. I had been there for a week. She hadn't talked for days. And she's in her bed and I'm just petting her hand. And all of a sudden she sat up and she looked at me and she said, so are you still performing? And I was like, oh my God, that's like the first thing that she said to me after no speak, right? And I knew right then that I needed to be me and do my own thing. And that really helped me make my decision. I felt like that was my message from my mom. My mom knows what I do, who I am. I'm not supposed to give up my career because he doesn't want me out on the road and accusing me of all sorts of stuff that I didn't do. And so, yeah, it's kind of amazing. So yeah, Bunny and my mom were really in my corner through all of that. And life goes on and life is good. And I'm all about living life to the fullest and living it to the max. So here we are.
Yeah, no, you're doing all sorts of amazing things. I wanted to follow up though. You said Jelly Roll had it. What is it? You're saying like the confidence or just the musical talent or just that star factor or what was it?
He had such sex appeal, such star quality. And that's something that we look for in casting. I'm looking for people that are unfiltered, that are going to, say the thing that people are thinking and don't give a flip, right? I'm looking for that edge. And he just had all of it. And plus he was like a teddy bear. He was just so funny. And he reminded me of back in the day when David Lee Roth was so with it, right? With the way that he would speak. He had he just had all these one-liners and stuff. He would just pull them out of the sky and deliver on camera. And Jelly Roll when I met him, he has that thing. He had that thing. He just It's like fast paced and you got to be paying attention to catch it all, but it's clever, it's funny. And I just found him so sexy, so charming, so wow factor, 100%. So none of this surprises me at all. His success does not surprise me at all because
what was his big break? Because I just remember the first time I heard about him was on Rogan. And so, but he must have gotten famous before that, right?
Oh, sure. Well, he's been touring for years. I mean, he was with Bobby Collin. He was on tour. Their relationship, their manager-artist relationship ended many years ago, but great songwriter, writes stuff that is so relatable. I think that he really is so relatable to the masses, broken people, broken souls, and we're all broken in some shape or form, right? And he just has that way to connect. His songs connect with you, what you're feeling, what you're thinking. I mean, that one song, I'm not okay, but everything's going to be all right. I mean, we all feel like that, right? I'm like, sometimes you wake up and you're like, I just really am not okay today. But you also know the bigger picture. It's a part of life and everything is eventually going to be okay. I mean, I believe that. And I believe that things are always working out for me. And I started this new thing in the morning. I'm doing, because I do a lot of manifesting and mantras and just to stay up and happy and all of this stuff. I don't watch the news. I don't listen to the news at all. Doesn't matter what side of the political fence you're on. I just don't go there. It's not, there's nothing I can do about any of it either way. Not my deal, not my lane. I stay in my own lane. I stay away from the news. I don't want to know what's up. I just stay in my little deal. But I started doing in the morning when I wake up, I really try not to pick up my phone because it's so addictive. And I love connecting with my people, but I really try not to pick up my phone. And I do my stretches and then I have a notebook. It's actually this book right here that says Make It Happen. And I write down 10 things that I'm grateful for every morning, 10 things that I'm grateful for. And then I write the names of 3 people who are annoying me at the moment.
Wait, this sounds like such the opposite of the gratitude. I was with you. I was like, oh, this sounds good.
It is good. But hey, I'm a human being. There's stuff that bugs me. I mean, look, sometimes I go to Starbucks and I walk in the door and it's got gross smudges all over it. And then I go back the next day and those smudges are still there. Nobody's cleaning that damn window, that door, and that grosses me out. And so I have pet peeves. Things bug me. People can annoy me.
So you write it down and then do you take an action towards it, or do you just
let it go?
Just a vent?
Yeah, you just let it go. It's like gratitude. And I'm grateful for all of these 10 things. These are 3 people that are annoying me at the moment.
I've never heard that part of a gratitude journal. I've heard write things you're grateful for. I've never heard, and also write 3 things that piss you off or 3 people that annoy you. I like that.
That might be annoying me at the moment, right? Instead of like faking it like, oh, everything all the time. No, there's sometimes people get up, they're annoying. And so I write those down and then I spend 5 minutes after that in just quiet. And I just I ask the universe to just guide me for the day. And, that's it. I do that every morning. Then I go for my hot girl walk, which, you look hot when you walk out the door. I have makeup on and my hair's, and I've got a great little outfit on and I do my hot girl walk. And then I walk around town and I say things like, I'm Lorraine Lewis and only good things happen to me. I'm Lorraine Lewis. Good things happen to me. I'm Lorraine Lewis. Good things happen to me.
It's kind of like brainwashing yourself, right? Like, because you also mentioned that you don't watch the news. And I think I heard you say you don't even watch, you don't even look at the rescue dog stuff on Instagram because it makes you too sad.
It's too heavy. It's too heavy. If I want to get involved, I'll just go to the shelter and rescue a dog.
Yeah.
But I can't go there because then I'm not
every day.
Yeah, I can't see it every day. I'm not useful in that because I don't know. People call themselves empaths. I don't know that that's what I am. I just know that it bums me out.
Sure. Yeah. You feel things.
I feel it too much. I actually feel things, like even on Jackass when like they're, doing some crazy stunt, and riding a bike and they hit a wall. Like I physically have a physical reaction to those things. Like,
so when I was a kid, I used to watch like the Bugs Bunny cartoons and stuff. And like, I'd feel bad when the animals would get like hurt. Like even though it's a cartoon, I hated it. I hated when the animals would get hurt as a cartoon. It bugged me.
Yeah, it's not funny. It's awful.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it. I feel it when somebody falls into a wall and I'm just like, I physically have a reaction like, that's not cool. Like, so I really shield myself. I stay in a bubble. I guess you call it bubble wrapping because I just stay in the bubble and if something gets in and I'm feeling a certain way, I do my best to focus on things that are going to get me out of it, which is, crows in the area. I love crows. I'm really into donkeys right now. I saw with the fires in LA, this Instagram feed came through and this man was saving these horses and these donkeys in the Mulholland Drive area. And he was on a motorcycle and he got the donkeys and the horses to follow him. And I've always loved donkeys. Like they are so mistreated sometimes, like forced to give rides to children and things that they don't really want to do. They're like a big dog. All animals are really like just dogs. Honestly, that's how I feel. And so, I mean, if you ever watched a cow running around with its tail, like they're just happy. Pigs, like that's their sign that they're happy. They're just all big dogs. So I love animals. So I'm really fixated on donkeys.
Have you ever been to Oatman, Arizona?
Yes. We filmed an episode in Oatman where the donkeys run the town.
Yeah.
There's a donkey sheriff. Yes.
Yeah, so cool.
Oh my, it's the coolest. Oh my God. And the donkeys, and they try to get into your purse and everything because they're always looking for snacks. Yeah. I love Oatman. I actually have a patch with a donkey from Oatman on a pair of jeans. I love that you know that. Yeah, Oatman, Arizona. Yeah, the episode was really amazing of Ex-Wives of Rock. I think it was season 3, but I love donkeys and I've been posting about donkeys. I actually messaged the Instagram and asked if I could come meet Micah, and I forget what the other one is. And they said yes. So I'm actually going next week to meet the donkeys.
Oh, wow.
I know. I'm so excited. And then I have a friend that just bought some property in the Nashville area. And she messaged me this morning, literally. And she said, girl, if you're really thinking about getting a donkey, let me know because I have I can keep them for you. And she said, I've been thinking about getting some goats. And so donkeys would be great. And I said, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to get 2 because they need companionship. And she's all about it. So I'm looking into it. I'm looking into the expense of food for a year. It's about $3,000 a year to feed them and care for them. I feel like that's doable.
And so you'd keep it in Nashville, or is it because you're in Palm Springs, right? Do you have room
in Palm Springs, and I can't have one here, although that there are horse stables and things. I just think that just sounds too massive. Like that just, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But I trust my friend. She's a major animal lover. She has chickens and all that kind of stuff. And she offered, and I just felt like, when you're thinking about doing stuff, this is another thing with how I live my life. If you're thinking about something and then somebody presents it to you, like, that's like a gift. That's like, oh, I see what the universe is doing here. Thank you for that. So that could be a possibility. So I'm investigating and it just might happen. And then I can go out there and I love Nashville. I've done a lot of traveling to Nashville. I worked with an Emmy nominated songwriter, Jan Buckingham. And we've written a lot of songs together. And so maybe I'm supposed to go out there regularly and get back into some songwriting in Nashville. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm supposed to go to Bunny's she has a flipping new section. I guess Jelly Roll has a bar and there's a section for Bunny. Oh. So she's got like her own little place that you can come and hang out with Bunny XO or whatever. I think she does Bunny XO. I do Lorraine XO.
So you mentioned writing music. Are you releasing anything? I know you have that song with Lou Gramm, but that's a David Bowie cover, right? Is there any other new music that's coming out?
Yes, there's a few things that are happening. So I can't mention the producer that I'm working with, who's an amazing producer, songwriter. He had a couple of hits out last year with a rock artist. I can't mention that. But we have about a half an album that we're working on, and we have our first single is being mixed right now.
Is this under Lorraine Lewis or Femme Fatale?
It's under Femme Fatale.
Okay.
So we have our first single ready. It's very close to going. Um, I'm just really excited about it. Femme Fatale is back, and I'm not revealing everything about Femme, but I can. Well, my rhythm section is in place, and my keyboard player has been chosen, and I'm still figuring out guitars right now. So that song is being mixed right now, working on an album. And I don't think that we're really going to release an album. Our plan is to release singles like every 2 to 3 months with a video. That's what we're going to do. That's what we've talked about doing. Stoked about that. The band Chastain, Leather Leone, is a friend of mine. I'd never met her until she came to me and said, I'm doing this all-girl tour, and I would really love to do Waiting for the Big One. And she said, can I have your blessing? I said, absolutely, you can have my blessing. And so I said, we really should do something together. And so we recorded a song together, and Matt Starr played drums on it. Sean McNabb played bass on it. I'm actually reaching out to Joel Holstra later today, or possibly Mitch Perry to lay some guitar. And we're going to do a video for that later this month. And that's going to be released really soon too. So yeah, I've got all sorts of stuff cooking. And then I've got some solo stuff as well. I was in Boston a lot last year. I have a co-write. It's myself, Toby Wright, and Britt Lightning is a writer on that. I invited her in on that. And then I've got some stuff that is completely just solo. Yeah, there's lots of music. It's music around here.
Yeah, that's amazing. It sounds like you're staying up to date with music too. Like you knew of Jelly Roll and stuff. Like it's weird. Like you mentioned Joel Hoekstra. I feel like he was one when I had him on the show, said he doesn't listen to any new music because he plays music all day. He doesn't want to listen to it, but you're staying in touch with the new music scene, which I think is important.
Yeah, I'm very pop culture, rock and roll culture. Like I'm now, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
I want to know what the juicy stuff is going on. I mean, I love all of that. I pay attention to TMZ. I mean, I love knowing the gossip. I love knowing what's going on and what's current. And yeah, Lainey Wilson. Yeah, I'm up with a lot of it. And a lot of it comes through my feed. I like staying current. I like being present and what is now.
Yeah.
I'm old school on a lot of levels, but I'm at the same time, I'm fresh and like I love life and I just want to grab all of it. So yeah, thanks for noticing.
Yeah. Did you watch any of the Grammys or because I didn't watch it, but I just saw some of the highlights or whatever, like Kanye's wife and Jaden Smith wearing a house on his head, just some weird stuff going on there.
Yeah, I only saw it through social media and obviously through TMZ. I don't have the patience to sit there for that long and watch a Grammy show. And plus I don't watch TV. I have a television, but I only really have it here for if I'm going to rent out my place for Airbnb people. Everything that I watch is on my laptop. I love watching SWAT. So one of my favorite shows is SWAT. I love FBI, although they're kind of over with now. I like talk shows like that. So, but no, I didn't watch the Grammys, but I saw some things go through. And yeah, I'm not a fan of some of those artists that you mentioned. But look, at the same time, if they're living their truth and doing what they want to do, I'm all for it. I don't know.
Do you think it was weird too? I heard they didn't mention CJ Snare of Firehouse in their memoriam, or Paul Di'Anno from Iron Maiden, like two major rock stars that passed away this year. They didn't give them a shout out at the Grammys.
Yeah, I think that the Grammys are really in their own lane as far as that. I don't know that Steven Tyler was involved, right? They had Nuno Betancourt performing with a bunch of badasses. Matt Sorum was there. So they do reach out across the aisles to the rock world, but maybe not so much 80s rock, you know, I don't know. It's I don't know why that is. I've never really been a part of the Grammys, but I also do know this new artist, Grace Bowers. I don't know if you know who she is. She's
Oh,
18 years old, just such an amazing guitar player. I actually had the privilege of meeting her 2 years ago. Maybe it's been 3 when I did the rock and roll fantasy camp. I was invited by Britt Lightning to do that in Nashville. And she had told me about this girl, Grace. And so Grace came and she was a part of it. And she was 16 back then. And now she's like 18. She was on stage with Coldplay. Like, you have to look her up. I mean,
okay.
she's been on the Jimmy Kimmel show. I mean, again, another artist that I knew about years ago that is just taking over the world. And I love seeing it. And that's one of the reasons that I like to stay up on what's going on. You know, I watched the songwriting contest when Måneskin from Italy won. I watch that songwriting contest every year because that is new talent that is coming through. And I fell in love with them when I watched that show. I knew that they were going to win. I knew that they were going to be huge. I saw them live at the Roxy about 3 years ago. But yeah, Damiano, the singer, amazing. The bass player, Victoria. I mean, talk about rock and roll in your face, like to the max. And then now I think that Damiano, he's kind of doing a solo thing, which it's really great. My preference is the rock band Måneskin, all of them together. But I understand the thinking with that. I mean, he's a major star. He's an amazing singer, and they're doing what they do, which is the iron's hot right now. And for this guy, and people love him. So they're packaging him in a certain way. And again, I don't hate it. I think it's great, but I prefer Måneskin together as a band because it's rock and roll.
Yeah, I love that stuff too. Is there anybody else that you're looking at right now that's hasn't made it that you think is going to be big in a few years?
I think the Bitter Sweethearts. I don't know if you know who they are.
No, I'll have to check that out.
Bitter Sweethearts, managed by a guy named Ali. I'm forgetting the singer's name right now. Talk about bombshell blonde, great voice. It's rock and roll, but it's not metal. It's more like, it's sexy. She performed at the NAMM show, the Ultimate Jam, and she did Blondie. I'm forgetting the name of the song right now, but she had a great group of guys with her. Alex Kane was on stage with her playing guitar. Alex is one of my favorite guitar players. He's just amazing. Maybe I'm supposed to call him today. Maybe he's supposed to do my track. Interesting.
Oh.
But yeah,
Do you have male and female members in Femme Fatale? Because I think originally there was male and female, and then it was an all-female version. Is this one going to be?
The original band was all guys, all guys. As a matter of fact, I've got this release right here. I don't know if you've seen it. I released this about 2 months ago on F&A Records. This is and this was us in LA. This is when I dyed my hair red because everybody, when I would meet them and I was a singer, thought that I was trying to be Del Bozio from Missing Persons.
Oh.
And I got really sick of hearing it. And so I dyed my hair red. Bad idea, really bad idea. Once you've been a blonde and you change your hair color to something dark, it sucks. You are invisible. At least I was completely invisible. I felt like nobody looked at me anymore, honestly.
Huh.
Heads will turn for a blonde, but if you're not, like, for me, it was like, notice me. I couldn't get attention for anything. So yeah, that was a bad move, but this is a badass picture anyway.
That is
So,
cool.
This is just some chocolate vinyl. We released it on F&A Records that you can still get them. There were only 100 of them printed up. I think we've got like 20 of them left, but I don't know if you can see how yummy that is. It's chocolate colored. It's kind of got pink in it. It's yummy. So
Yeah.
yeah, so Yeah. What else do you want to know?
Well, yeah, you got all this new music coming out. Let's see what you got, the TV producing thing. You got an OnlyFans. That's a new thing, right?
That is a new thing. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes. So I am stoked about the OnlyFans. The response has been amazing. And I'm bringing this little cute thing out just because I feel like I have a wand right now. But yes, I have wanted to join OnlyFans for a very, very long time. I just think it's a cool platform. It can be whatever you want it to be. I think a lot of people think it's really just porn. It's not, it doesn't have to be, but it's sexy. I'll tell you that. Like I'm hella sexy. But you know, the honest truth of this is I started it back in October and I just wanted to figure out the platform for myself. So I was only inviting certain people from my Instagram that I felt, you know, safe with, or that they would keep the secret. And they did. I mean, they did. And so I had it up to about 20 subscribers. In Hooker Talk, we call them subs. So I had 20 subs. I'm learning all the lingo. I'm having the best time. It's just so funny to me. Anyway, so I had 20 subs, and then I knew that I wanted to announce it because I just didn't want it to come from somebody else. You know, like, oh, somebody found out and then they go to Blabbermouth or they go to you or they go, you know what I mean? I wanted to be in control of my announcement. So I hired Mitch Snider Organization. Mitch and I go way back to back in the day. He was my publicist when I was signed to Frontline Management and MCA. And I contacted him and I told him what was going on with my music and this and that and OnlyFans. And I said, I want to announce my OnlyFans. And so he said, great. So we did a press release. It went everywhere. And so I am so proud of myself that I was the one to be able to announce it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
So how many subs do you have now? If you had 20 then, and then you went public.
I have 560.
Are you serious? Damn, that's a lot. And
It's
it's $20 a month, right? So that's
yes, it's been amazing. And you know, the cool thing about it, look, bottom line is my theme song for 35 years has been waiting for the big one, for goodness sakes. So it just makes sense that a girl like me, a rock star like me, would take this to the next level. I've always been a rebel. I'm always full of surprises. And this is just another level of like doing what I want to do and living life to the fullest. You know, if I'm lucky, I've got 30 more years on the planet. I can talk about this when I'm sipping tea, you know, when I'm 100. This is just another phase of my life. I'm owning it. I'm embracing it. I'm in control of whatever I want to do. And I'm just having so much fun. I have so many fans that have come on and they're like, you know, I've had a crush on you since I was 15 years old and first saw your video. I mean, it's a chance for people to have a one-on-one with me, get to know me on a more, you know, intimate one-on-one level, have fun with it. And I'm
Wow.
just having fun.
That's amazing. I love it. You're living life at the fullest, and another 30 years, like you said, maybe more.
Maybe more. And, you know, I saw something on Instagram with Cher recently, and I mentioned this in the press release, that she says, you know, I wish I would have been badder. She said, I was pretty bad, meaning she was, you know, she has quite a repertoire of, you know, suitors that she's been with. And she, you know, she just looked at that camera. She said, I was pretty bad. She said, I wish I would have been badder. And I was like, hell's yes. You know, yeah. So it's my bad period.
All right. Well, I love it. Have fun. So do we have any dates on some of this music? I know the Lou Gramm song isn't coming out until June. What about the Femme Fatale stuff? Do we have a date on that?
Gosh, I'm having a meeting with management later today. We're talking to labels right now and securing something.
Okay.
So I don't have dates on that. I think the first thing that people are going to hear from me is going to be the release with Leather. And I think that we're going to be releasing that within the next probably 45 days, this first quarter, I would say that's going to come out with a video. So that's going on. And Yeah, and I'm hoping that you'll put a link to my OnlyFans, a
I could
link.
put that in the show notes. People could just click it.
That would be amazing because I run my own page. It's not like I've turned it over to anybody. It's really me. I had a guy yesterday. He was like, "How do I know this is really Lorraine Lewis talking to me?" And I said, "Trust me, it's me. It really is me." And he said, "Can you send a photo of yourself holding up 3 fingers?" So I was like, okay, click, here you go. And then his mind was blown. And then we just had a super fun chat. So yeah, I'm doing it myself. I think that people like the one-on-one connection with me. I'm a real person. And again, living life to the fullest and having so much fun. I have so
Awesome. Well,
much to be grateful for.
I
So
love it. I'll put all the links in the show notes, and people can follow you on social media, on Instagram. I know you're on there. You're pretty active. So
thank you, Chuck.
yeah.
This has been so much fun. And I
Yeah.
read something in what Andrea sent over to me, is that you also like to mention charities that people are.
Yeah, I love to promote. I haven't done it as much lately just because it seemed like people weren't interested. So, but if you have something to promote, I'd love to promote that.
Well, I do. I mean, with the fires and everything that was going on, the Pasadena Humane Society is one in New Mexico, which is where I'm from, bridging the world's animal sanctuary. I have fostered isn't really the word. I don't know. I'll just use that word right now because I don't know what else to say, but sponsored. So I've sponsored dogs that were, in bad shape when they found them. There was one named Pirate, and his chain collar was like embedded in his neck.
Oh
And
no.
when they found him, because he had basically had it on since he was like a puppy, and a smaller dog. And so I sponsored that dog. They had surgery, they removed that. And so I love that. I love those stories. And again, I have to stay away from that stuff.
Yeah.
But bridging the world's animal sanctuary in Santa Fe, New Mexico, Gentle Barn, and Pasadena Humane Society are 3 of my top faves right now. So
Okay, I'll put those links in the show notes too. Thanks so much for doing this.
thank you. You're super fun. Thanks for letting me gab. Take care,
Yeah,
Chuck.
absolutely. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Topic, one of a kind. From the rockers to the wise men.